How's it going? This is Corey Johnson, the Remax Runner, taking a break from my normal real estate videos to give you some of my best training tips for running for this marathon season. I know a lot of you are out there training. You might be a little nervous. It might be your first training cycle, your second training cycle that didn't maybe go so well the first time. But I'm training for my 6th marathon. And I'm gonna give you some of my tips that I feel that have worked out best for me out of all of my training cycles. Number 1, give yourself a mile in training. When you get out, sometimes in these summer months, you get out there, you feel like you don't have it today. Give yourself a mile, give yourself a mile and a half to really get into the groove, and you might find, and I found that some of my best runs have come out of these days where I don't feel that I have it. Give yourself a mile. Number 2, my fellow male runners, nipple chafing is a very real thing, and the only thing that I have found that has worked for me, Band-Aids fall off, those stickies, they fall off. Go to the store, get yourself a little bottle of liquid Band-Aid, paint that stuff on your long runs. It'll stay there. It's just like peeling off a little bit of glue in the shower after your run. It's not a big deal. It's the only thing that I found that has really worked well for me. Number 3, start fooling around with your fuel very early. If you have not fueled well, if you haven't finished well before in your marathons, it probably has a lot to do with your fuel. Figure out how you're going to fuel during these races, whether it's the goos, the chews, the Gatorades, whatever it is, now is the time to start fooling around with that stuff. You don't want to go out race day and figure out why you're not running. You can't achieve your goals because a lot of it has to come down with fuel. Start fooling around with that early. Number 4, I take an Advil mid long run or mid race, so I'm not feeling so bad at the end of the race. Number 5, break in a pair of shoes early. You should have, if you want the feeling of a new pair of shoes going out, do yourself a favor, go out today, get yourself a pair of new shoes, break them in, get 30, 40, 50 miles on them and put them away. I have a pair of shoes that I only wear for race day. It's probably only got 100 miles or 150 miles on them, and that's the only shoes that I use. What you don't want to do is obviously nothing new on race day, especially your shoes. Number 6, if you are thinking, this is more of a wake-up call, if you're thinking that you're gonna use marathon training to lose weight, I have found on a couple cycles ago, you are not going to lose weight. If you are running as much as you are getting rid of those calories, but you need to be intaking those calories. If you want your runs to go well, you need to be fueling properly, and it honestly winds up being a little bit of a seesaw like this, but it should wind up about even. I have never lost weight training for a marathon. Number 7, look for charter buses. If you're doing New York or any other races, look in your local groups, especially for New York, for maybe running groups that have a charter bus that can bring you to the starting line. Number 8, a few weeks out before your race, I would do a rehearsal run. The chances are that your start time for your race might not be lined up to what you're normally doing for your long runs on your weekends. You usually wake up early in the morning, get fueled, get ready, and go out the door and start running. Especially for New York and some other races, you might not be starting until 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30 in the morning, which really kind of screws up your timing. So I would, when it gets later in the season, pick one of your long runs to do a rehearsal run where you are going to be going out and doing your long runs and doing your fueling exactly the way the timing, or close to it, the timing that things are gonna work out on actual race day. Number 9, race day supply prep. If you have things that you like to use on your long runs, like a chafing stick or things like that, what I do is that when I use it during training, I get down to that last little bit or whatever I'm using, the cream, the chafing stick, whatever it is, and I put it aside so then I have it for race day. So when I use it then, I'm not throwing away a whole stick or a whole tube of something. I'm just throwing away maybe that last little bit. Number 10 is a big one. Have a mantra. Get your positive thoughts going. So when you're in your training runs and you get to the end of a run and you're really lagging, have yourself a mantra. Say push, whatever, finish, your daughter's name, your kid's name, whatever your motivation is, have that mantra in your brain and say it over and over again to get you to that finish line of that training run. One of these days, you're really gonna be pushing hard and you're gonna be really super proud of yourself that you pushed through. And then when you have that tough moment in that race and you're really having a tough time, then you're gonna have that victory stuck in your mind saying, that training run, I use my mantra, and it's going to be ingrained in your mind, and you're going to go push through, and you're going to use that moment in your training to translate into pushing through on that tough time that you have in your race. Again, my name is Corey Johnson, the Remax Runner. Those are my training tips. I'm going to have a New York City marathon specific video coming out soon. So look out for that if you're training for New York. If you're not training for New York and any other marathon, good luck to you guys. Reach out with any questions. Happy to coach you along. I am not a professional runner. I am not a nutritionist, but I can certainly tell you what has helped me in the past. Talk to you soon. Have a great training cycle, everybody.